the judgment, you answered the call, okay, the judgment call. And that last video, the next step is your jump start, or your portal to completion. The cycle is now complete. Now, honestly, hold on. Okay.
It's always kind of funny how I find out how they're coping. So he asked me how I'm coping.
You know what? That's just so confusing. Yeah, I needed that song to go past, because before we even dive into, oh my gosh, the cycle is closed. How are you? How are you? Mercury retrograde has just ended. The shadow period is on the way. For this cycle to have closed, there was extreme turmoil. There was a tsunami. Opposing thoughts, beliefs, feelings at war within you. It was all happening in the heart and the throat space. But when you allowed yourself to breathe in and see, it was coming all the way from the root, because you were not seeing yourself in your truth. You were denying opportunities that your higher self was calling you towards. You weren't taking the steps that were, coming from within, those intuitive nudges, because a lot of you were focused on a goal, but you didn't know how to get there, and you were desperate for the shift. You were trying anything, and that trying anything, accepting anything, there wasn't that pause and checking in with yourself, because you didn't, I want to say, know yourself. You didn't know yourself in your truth. You knew fragmented reflections of you, is what I'm hearing. Like, imagine yourself in a funky house with the funky mirrors. That's how you saw yourself, distorted. You had a distorted view. And yes, there was a lot of external opinions, and your angels have always been around you, but that doesn't mean your life was easy. That doesn't mean you weren't doctrinized, I was going to say. That doesn't mean that you had to see life through someone else's eyes to live, to feel safe. That doesn't mean that fight or flight wasn't your natural way of thinking, feeling, flowing. It doesn't mean that you weren't taught to be ashamed of your identity. It doesn't mean any of those things. Hold on, I'm gonna get some cleansing for you. Oh, we'll cleanse all bubbles. Hold on. It's basically empty now, so they're not coming out well. Let's go. Yeah, clear the air. I heard that magpie. But yeah. And parakeets, exactly. That's my bird. Things weren't easy. Things weren't playful. Oh, come on. My parakeet feathers. I want to show y'all. Oh, do you know what? But you know what all of this is? I'm not taking this as a distraction or a mistake. Hold on, the dog is literally right there. I'm taking it almost like you are coming back to ways that you weren't allowed to play before. Again, you didn't know who you were, you didn't know how to. There's so many things that you just didn't know about yourself because you didn't have the time or the space to connect with them. Hold on, I want to look for a feather and show y'all. There it is. If it wasn't for that dog, I wouldn't have noticed that it would blown away. Look, parakeets. But yeah, a lot of you didn't have that space. Yeah, and you took the fool's journey. Listen, because you know what I just heard? You took the fool's journey without knowing yourself consciously, because you've always known yourself consciously. It's always been a part of you. Why? Because you see, Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy being presented as this is cardinal earth, right? Meaning before the tree is the tree, before the abundance, the Queen of Pentacles could have grown any of this. She planted a seed and she stuck with it, nurtured it, followed it, continued making, and I'm on 10%. So I can't even, we'll see how much we get out. But the Wheel of Fortune, I always say you are always in alignment. Why? Because regardless of which way you're going, it is part of your soul journey. It is part of your soul journey. It's part, and your higher self, your crown, your Ori, knows which way to guide you. And sometimes we don't always listen, but even in our not listening, we learn lessons that connect us back to knowing. And that wasn't easy, but that's part of the journey. That's what part of the journey you've been on. That's part of what you've been doing. You've been elevating, you've been growing, you've been connecting, you've been making those steps, surrendering, pausing, and there was something that you were feeling called to do, or something that was being brought into your attention, maybe a way that you were viewing yourself that was not the way that you can view yourself in order for this to go on to the next full journey. Because after the world, we go back to the beginning. But imagine, that's what I was hearing in my head, imagine now you're about to take the full step, only it's not an unknown. As in, you don't know where you're going. You know where you're going because you're choosing it this time, because you are the magician. 10 of Cups, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, Judgment. You see what I'm saying? This is, and underneath that was the Four of Pentacles and the cards are just flowing. You were not allowing yourself, oh my goodness. I'm so excited, okay? Because you were the Page of Cups, right? Getting the intuitive nudges, but you didn't trust them. You were still learning. Because you were still, where's my 10 of Cups? Where is it gonna come? Not knowing that you were the magic one. It was all being wielded from your expression of I am. And I'm so excited to see Kiki Palmer's Oprah Winfrey interview, because I saw a snippet on IG, on Instagram, and what she said, it just reminded me fully of everything I say about the chakra system. Is I am. When you know who you are, you know the seed, you know your roots, everything that's beneath, you then, I feel, in your sacral, that's where our creative energy, that's where the ideas don't come from here, your ideas come from down here. And then when you're now confident, when you're now able to take the action towards it, your solar plexus, the Leo energy, the sun energy, your life force, when you now do the things you love. You feel, when you're in complete flow, you feel, you love. But if you don't express, it can't come up. And if you don't express, you will not be in full connection to see what you won't see if you don't express truthfully. That means express how you're feeling, where you are, what you want, what you know to be true. You didn't know how to do that before. See, the King of Pentacles, King of Cups, yeah, because alchemy, turning the cups, turning the emotion, the inner world, the subconscious into conscious, physical, tangible being. You didn't have faith that you could do that before. Mentally, you were trapping. You did not see all that I am. You did not see all that who you were. You didn't see that I am that I am. You didn't see that you were divinely supported. You didn't see that the divine was living in you, that your emotions were always guiding you to the truth. You were always trying to think it through, but you couldn't think this through. This isn't something that you could logically prove. You couldn't prove the things that you felt you were being called to. You couldn't prove how someone like you from your background could live a life of luxury. You couldn't see how you could live a queer life and be happy because you were taught and you were chosen. Some of you guys, listen, your soul purpose has been heavy. And I don't know why I froze there, because again, I think some of you guys are still processing this. I had a sharp pain in my left side. That's the feminine side. Your subconscious knows, your body knows. And it's only through true expression that you are able to receive, but also some of you guys need to express the ways that you are not comfortable yet to receive, that you don't yet trust. That is also being truthful, and that's where you now see your next step. It's not about fully getting it. All it is about right now, guys, because you guys have been, the cards, I didn't even have time to shuffle. You've been holding on, pushing, but you're being guided to know who you, when you know who you are, you receive that which you are. You don't need to, it's like you've been holding onto this flame of who you are, but it's not been working, but you've been trying and trying, you've been fighting, you've been so resilient, you've been so protected. Okay, crows may be significant to you as well as dandelions, fairies too. But lovers, the Gemini, third house energy, Mercury, your mind whether you know it or not, has been on this journey of aligning with what you knew was true for you from the beginning of time. From before you were even conceived, your destiny. And your destiny can be lived because we do have free will. You do get to choose it. You also get to tap and connect with the divine to help you know the way. And that's why there are people like me, oracles, that are able to help you see your destiny, because sometimes we don't always see if we're not able to express. That's why I do this, because I'm gifted at it. I can see. I allow myself to be an open channel, and the times when I can't see and I can't express, I know exactly what's going on within me that I need to alchemize. I don't know. I started to see that snake doing this. Yeah, that's what I was feeling. Because we can heal ourselves, you know. That's what that the sword with the two snakes doing this that you see in hospitals, that's what that represents. We can heal ourselves. So I'm straight channeling. That's how I know I'm channeling, because I don't actually remember anything I've said, which is a good sign, because this message came to you for a reason. This isn't something I could have planned in my mind. Judgment. Thank you, Spirit. You've taken the step, and now the Magician. The Magician, 1124, that might be significant to you. And let me just tell you, what is coming to you, you've not only have you got your spark back, your connection to divine back, your connection to your Ori, your destiny, you've got that back, but you've completed a cycle. That was it. You need to celebrate yourself. You have completed a cycle. You've got off the bus, got the plane. That's the easiest way I can say it. You knew that where you were going was not, you could see that where you were going isn't where you wanted to go, and it was getting loud. The saxophones, you see in the judgment card has a trumpet. To me, my judgment card in my tarot deck is a saxophone, because the saxophones are getting louder. They were getting louder, and what the truth of what that judgment call was. Yeah, it might have been a small step, like put yourself out there, go to an event, or post something, or read a new book, or tell someone the truth. I don't know what the judgment call was for you, Conversation with the Crows, but you knew that you were getting the signs, and yeah, you were getting these readings to help reignite and to spark it for you to receive some of that divinity. I don't know, coming out that way. But you taking that step, that judgment call was coming. Mercury retrograde may be over, but the shadow period. The message is so fast. I need to take a deep breath. At your core, you were not seeing yourself for who you were, meaning you were going to step forward towards your dreams, your goals. And some of you would have missed it, because you would not have recognized that was your manifestation. You would not have even, you didn't even, because you were not seeing yourself fully. And how I know you weren't seeing yourself fully is because you weren't expressing yourself fully. Because you weren't expressing yourself fully, you were not going to be able to get to that new journey. You were not going to reach the world moment. There was not going to be completion of the cycle that has been, this is an over 3, 5, 8 year cycle for some of you, I'm hearing. Moments of deep trauma, fragmentation, like identities that are pain bodies, stories and ways that you used to identify that were linked to trauma bonds that you had with yourself, ways that you would never be able to believe, ways that your masculine and feminine were not in harmony. So your heart wanted one thing, but your mind didn't believe, and therefore you didn't take the action towards your dreams. You are ready to take the action now. Your heart is so open. You've been doing so much inner child healing, inner heart healing. You have elevated, you have grown, but your mind, and that's why we've been in this period of Four of Swords, to take you to your Four of Wands. You are arriving. You have arrived. Because you've done it. I don't know what you did. Comment it down below if you know, if you did something, you spoke your truth, you painted something, and through that process, and if ever through that process or through you hearing this, it's going to spark that, oh my gosh, I had a moment where I realized this isn't me, this is me. And this is what I want to consciously choose, and I'm ready to let go of viewing myself in a lesser way, of viewing myself as incapable. of, yeah, I'm seeing 1505, the devil, the helicopter, the old looming beliefs that were kind of like peering over, and they didn't let you go, they didn't let you receive. And now you're about to receive. You're about to receive more than you can even dream. The sun. It's a green light. It's time for you to go. It's time to reconnect the flow. Whoa, I was about to reconnect the flow. Doesn't matter what I was about to say. The flow of your energy. You have not been getting paid for who you are because you are not putting yourself out as who you are. And who you are, your sole purpose, is an expression. Ten of Pentacles. It is an expression of you, of your truth, of your I am. That's where the money is. That's where the abundance is. But even before the abundance came out, the wish fulfillment, the joy, the peace, the serenity. Now, I felt cool. Hold on. Let me just read this out to you guys, because you are safe to be everything you were destined to be. And I want you to also affirm, I am everything I was destined to be. Who you are now, your journey, everything that has led you to here. It's not a mistake. And also your experiences aren't you, but they have helped shape you. And you, as you are right now, as you're watching this, you are everything you were destined to be. Some of you guys, if you want to look into this more deeper in like a personal reading, I'm going to be, I literally got this inspiration today, so I'm gonna put it out there. It's a tarot reading, destined to 222B. So it's gonna be a tarot message looking into just asking that question and seeing what spirit comes out. And yes, a mini one, just like a little dive, you get to have some journal prompts at the end. Fantastic. I also, if you would like to look into your cosmic blueprint, your birth chart, which literally unfolds all you were destined to be. You got your North Node, you got everything, your unique blend of the zodiac. If you would like to book that, the link is in my description. And also, I have a new type of reading that I'm also putting out there. It's called Cards I Was Dealt, which is going to be a blend of both tarot and astrology to look at your internal alignment. Oh, and I don't want to spoil it because it's a surprise. It's going to blend tarot and astrology in a very, very unique way. Yeah, it covers your soul gifts, your purpose, expression, and your unique lessons using both divination and astrology. So if that sounds like a bit of you, that is like a deeper dive of the destined to be tarot reading. And I might, I'll also do a Cards I Was Dealt tarot reading exclusive one as well. You'll just plug in birth chart reading, birth chart details, and then you can get that as a tarot reading. But if you want the tarot and the astrology, that is a different story. Anyway, back to the message. 1808, I had to get that out. Guys, allow yourself to take your time. You are not in a rush. You're not in a competition with anybody. You do not need to fight to receive. Also, you guys, in the past, this conclusion that you're getting right now, you are realizing, you have mentally reached the recognition of all the ways you held your back in the physical, held yourself back, but also held your back. So you were trying to support yourself. It was because of survival. It was because you didn't feel safe. So I'm not gonna skeet around that either way. But now you've learned the lessons and you have come to harm. You're ready now. Your masculine is ready, as in your masculine, as in your logic, your mind is ready to give into the feeling. Give into the feeling. You weren't giving into the feeling before. Your heart was giving you nudges, showing you this is where we want to go. This is where we dream to go. This is what we desire. And you were like, no, man, I can't have that. Or I don't believe that. But listen, big Leo, and it's Leo season. None of that. Leo rules the heart. King of Wands, Leo rules the heart. Following the heart is exactly how things are meant to be, because when you follow the heart, when your mind isn't in this, sometimes we have to walk. That was actually a download I got. I can't remember it. Let me see if it can come to my mind. It was in another video actually. I said something about sometimes you have to do it blind. I don't know. I'll remember it. But how it's coming to me is, you know, them times where it's a bit dark. It's a bit dark in life and you don't know what's going on. It's dark night of the soul. Your mind is literally in chaos. Yeah, because you have to go blind. Because if you know that you're being led to exactly what you would deny in this moment because it's not logical, you wouldn't go there. So that's why Eight of Swords is this was actually my first. I might get excited, you know. I think I might get tatted somewhere, maybe on my back. Sorry guys, I'm just yapping. I'm just like, no, that was my first ever tarot card. Ooh, 8 of Swords on here. Yes, Spirit. I'm excited. And then maybe I'll get a tree up my body rather than because I wanted a sleeve, something that wrapped around me. Maybe musical notes. Anyway, guys, sorry, I was channeling so much and I'm now inspired. I hit a point. I hit a point. Yeah, I just saw the 8 of Wands. But I want to bring it back to the read. Maybe I'll drink some water. Maybe does this just feel like a kiki? Hi guys, my name is my name is Destiny. This is Child of Destiny Oracle. If you haven't already, subscribe, join, be one of Destiny's children. I don't know, be a child of Destiny, child. I don't know, Destiny's child. But yeah, no, I'm excited. The energy is completely different. I feel like I'm starting to wrap up. Yeah, you were never on the wrong path, and now you're here. The fun is about to start. You don't need to graft. You don't need to graft, you need to follow your heart. That's what I was going to try and show you guys with the lovers, that Gemini. Following the heart takes strength. Leo again. But you, 21, 26, that might be your ages. Or maybe from 21 to 26, so the past 5 years has been leading you to the 10 of Pentacles. Your 10 of Pentacles, your abundance comes from you following the heart. So you had to go through all of that. That was the twin flame journey, because you are your twin flame. Your mind was ignoring the green light. Your mind was saying it wasn't safe all this time. Your mind and your heart were not aligned. So that's why you felt off track all this time, but you are no longer off track because you've always had your back. You always knew where you were going. Even though you didn't feel, your mind was still there. Your heart was still there. Even if it was painful. Even if you had to meet your shadows and tame your ego, you did it. That's why you're about to see it. Taurus energy with the King of Pentacles. Yeah, you've been Saturn in Taurus, having to look, why isn't it growing? Why isn't it growing? Because you had to learn. You had to learn your worth. You had to learn that your worth came from under the dirt, from your roots, from your I am, from your seed. And now that you know that, you're the emperor, big emperor, and it's up to you now to write your story. I'm going to end this here, because the energy has shifted completely. I'm gonna do a major arc reading on writing your story, because this coming out is no joke. This is my title card, this isn't a tarot deck, but you write your story. We have the Magician here, yep. Some of you guys wanna get the Mastering Fire seminar where we talk about both Aries energy and this. This is the major arc. I'm gonna do it in a separate vid, but you're ready. 2311, also 1111. When I see the time, I always see that. But 2311, yep. You've ended a cycle, and now your justice is here. Expect quick change because of the judgment call you answered and the moves that you've made. I love you lots. I gotta go.